Food production and the environment. Of conversion of raw materials into finished food products. Example of finished food products is fruits and vegetables, meat, processed food such as cereal, sardines, etc. Environment, the surroundings or condition in which a person, animal, or plant lives or operates. What are the types of food production? Cultivation, selection, crop management, harvesting, crop production, preserving, baking, pasteurizing, podding, carving, butchering, fermenting, pickling, drink and candy making, restaurant, etc. is the different types of food production was being classified as a food production in all country. What is the role of food production? The role of food production is to produce maximum products from minimum amount of raw materials because as for today, more countries experiencing shortage of food production. Not only the role of food production is to produce, but it will also preserve products for a longer period of time to avoid damage and rejection. How does production impact the environment? Industrial agriculture harms the environment through pollution of air, soil, and water. These are the problems facing today of our environment. Air emissions from livestock operations. The example of this is the pig poultry, making up 14.5% of global greenhouse gas emissions was being harmed to our environment. Conventional crop production degrades soil health and causes soil erosion. Yes, it's true. Crop production is the one having impact to our environment also because of having a using of non-organic fertilizer. The soil will not in good condition. Because of the crop production, more people made a deforestation, and that's why as of today we heard from the news that there is a soil erosion. Food waste produced 3.3 billion tons of carbon dioxide. Imagine 3.3 billion tons.
Industrialized.
That's why we have
industrialization
climate change we are
is the
facing
process
today.
by which economy is transformed from a primarily agricultural one to one based on the manufacturing goods. What is the industrialization of food? The industrialization of food corresponds to a series of technical evolutions linked to the industrial revolutions that affect how food is made, from production through the processing, catering, and distribution. What are the examples of industrial food? Examples of industrial foods are commercially canned goods, frozen foods, ice cream, breads, cakes, pies purchased at bakeries and or groceries and supermarkets, cake mixes, hot and cold cereals, instant mashed potatoes, pastry pie shell, mix and jams and jellies. Industrial agriculture harms the environment through pollution of air, soil and water. Air emissions from livestock operations make up to 14.5% of global greenhouse gas emissions. Conventional crop production degrades soil health and causes soil erosion. What are three major types of traditional food production? Food production is further classified into different types of including cultivation, selection, crop management, harvesting, crop production, preserving, baking, pasteurizing, podding, carving, butchering, fermenting, pickling, drink and candy making, restaurants, and etc. Organic agriculture is production of system that sustains the health of soils, ecosystem, and people. What is an example of organic agriculture? Some of the example of practicing organic production or agriculture include using crop rotation, biological control, and similar sustainable methods in order to tackle insects, disease, and weeds, growing cover crops, using animal and green manures, and practicing crop rotation in order to fertilize the soil. What are the benefits of organic agriculture? Uses fewer pesticides, reduce soil erosions, decrease nitrate leaching into the groundwater and surface, water and recycles animals' waste back into form. So how does organic agriculture benefit the environment? Organic farming is better for environmental health. Organic farming is better for environmental health because its practices involves less pollution soil erosion and energy. Eliminating the use of pesticides in farming also benefits nearby birds and animals and people who live close to farms.
Green Revolution, a large increase in crop production of developing countries achieved by the use of fertilizer, pesticide, and high-yield crop varieties. It's called Green Revolution because most of the countries use fertilizer and pesticide for their farm, and they use different varieties of crop of the sustained foods production.
Who started Green Revolution? The Green Revolution was an endeavor initiated by Norman Borlaug in the 1960s. He is known as the father of Green Revolution in the world. It led to him winning the Nobel Peace Prize in 1970 for his work in developing high-yielding varieties of wheat.
In the Philippines, we have also called Green Revolution. By the late 1970s, the country has changed from a net importer to a net importer of rice. From 1970 until now are always increasing because of the fertilizer price. The food production are very affected due to the increasing of the fertilizer today. Who started Green Revolution in the Philippines? Ferdinand Marcos, who started the Green Revolution here in Philippines. He is a elected president of our country. It's also introduced high-yielding varieties to country to produce more food production of our country. As the Green Revolution program started in the Philippines, as your first buy and the shortage of our production of foods, especially rice, the program launched at the year of the 19 1973, and that time we are allowed to be expose rice to other Asian countries. Green Revolution and the environment. Because of this Green Revolution, this is also can have effect to our environment. Have created several environment problems like deforestation. Most people made deforestation to have a food production, and because of this deforestation, soil erosion, water logging, salinity, alkalinity are the problem facing today. So this time, as we know, our environment